Good morning, dear children. Happy Independence Day to all. Today we are going to learn about second chapter in the geography, Inside Our Earth. Have you ever seen onion? It has several layers. Like onion, our earth is made up of several layers with one inside another. The uppermost layer of the earth is called crust. The uppermost layer of the earth is called crust. See in the picture. It is thinnest of all the layers. It is about 35 kilometer on the continental masses and 5 kilometer on the ocean floors. That means the thickness of the crust is 35 kilometer from the surface and 5 kilometer from the ocean floors. The main mineral of the continental mass or surface are silica and alumina. Silica, so it is also called Sial. Si means silica, Al means alumina. The oceanic crust mainly consists of silica and magnesium. So it is also called SIMA. Si means silica and Ma means magnesium. Oceanic floor consists of silica and magnesium. So it is called SIMA. And continental crust consists of silica and alumina. So it is called Sial. And the deepest mine in the world located in South Africa. It is about 4 kilometer deep. Engineers have dug a hole about 6 kilometer deep to search oil. And if we want to reach the center of the earth, it is not possible. You will have to dig a hole about 6,000 kilometer deep from the ocean floor. Now, just beneath the crust, we have mantle. See here, after the crust, we have mantle layer. And it is this mantle layer extends up to 2,900 kilometer below the crust. And the innermost layer of the earth is called core. See in the picture, innermost layer of the earth is called core. The radius of the core is about 3,500 kilometer. The core is mainly made up of nickel and iron, and it is also called knife. Ni means nickel and Fe means ferrous, that is iron. And the central of the core is very high temperature and high pressure. The crust forms only 0.5% of the volume of the earth. 16% consists of mantle and 83% consists of the core. As I told, the crust is thinnest of all the layers. Now we will move on to the next concept, that is rocks and minerals. Now, first we will understand what is rocks. Any natural mass of mineral matter that makes up the earth's crust is called rock. Rocks are, the earth's crust is made up of varieties of rocks, and rocks can be different size, color and texture. Texture means shape. Now, types of rocks. There are three major types of rocks. First one is igneous rocks, second one is sedimentary rocks, and third one is metamorphic rocks. Let us see one by one. First one is igneous rocks. When the molten magma cools, it becomes solid. Rocks formed in such a way are called igneous rocks. There are Igneous. Igneous is a Latin word ignis, meaning fire. Igneous rocks are also called primary rocks. There are two types of igneous rocks. First one is intrusive igneous rocks and second one is extrusive igneous rocks. Can you imagine lava coming out from the volcano? Yes, the lava coming out from the volcanoes. Lava is actually fiery red molten magma coming out from the interior of the earth on its surface. When this molten lava comes on the earth's surface through volcanoes or vent means openings, it rapidly cools down and becomes solid. Rocks formed in such a way on the crust are called extrusive igneous rocks. They have very fine and grained structure. Example of the extrusive igneous rocks are basalt. The Deccan Plateau is made up of basalt rocks. Sometimes the molten magma cools down deep inside the earth's crust and the solid rocks are formed in such a way are called intrusive igneous rocks. And when the molten magma cools down, it will take several years and the cools down very slowly. They form large grains. Granite is an example of intrusive igneous rocks. Grinding stones used to prepare paste and grains are made of granite. Now next one is sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary, it is a Latin word sedimentum, meaning settle down. When the rocks roll down, crack and hit by wind or by water each other and are broken down into small fragments. When the rocks roll down, crack and hit each other and they are broken into small fragments. These smaller particles are called sediments. These sediments are transported and deposited by wind, water, etc. These sediments are transported through wind and water, and these loose sediments are compressed and hardened to form layers of rock. When the loose sediments compressed means press or squeeze layer by layer, and it will become hardened and form layers of rocks. These types of rocks are called sedimentary rocks. Example, sandstone. Sandstone is made up of grains of sand. These rocks may also contain fossils of plants, animals and other microorganisms. Next is metamorphic rock. Igneous and metamorphic is a Greek word metamorphos, meaning change of form. Igneous and sedimentary rocks can change into metamorphic rocks under great heat and pressure. Example of metamorphic rocks is clay changes into slate and limestone into marble. Now, uses of rocks. Rocks are very useful to us. Rocks are very useful to us. The hard rocks are used for making roads, buildings, houses, etc. And from the rocks we can play many games. 7 stones, pito, hopscotch, kit, 5 stones, gitti, so on and so forth. And now We'll move on to the next concept, rock cycle. What is rock cycle? The process of transformation of the rock from one to another is known as rock cycle. You have already learnt when the molten magma cools, it solidifies. When the molten magma cools, it solidifies. When the molten magma cools, it solidifies and form igneous rock. See here in the picture, molten magma here, and it cools, form a igneous rock. Igneous rock. And these igneous rocks are broken down into small particles, that means sediments, called sediments, that are transported and deposited to form a sedimentary rock. Sedimentary rocks. When the igneous and sedimentary rocks are subjected to heat and pressure, when the igneous rocks and sedimentary rocks are subjected to great heat and pressure, they change into metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rocks, which are still under great heat and pressure, melt down to form a molten magma. This molten magma again can cool down and solidify into igneous rocks. This cycle continuously going on. Now, the last part of the lesson is rocks, minerals. Rocks are made up of different types of minerals. Minerals are naturally occurring substances which have certain physical properties and definite chemical compositions. Minerals are very important to humankind. Some minerals are used as fuels. For example, coal, natural gas and petroleum. And some minerals are also used in industries. Iron, aluminium, gold, uranium, etc. Some minerals are used in medicine and fertilizers, etc. I hope all of you understood the lesson, and with this we covered the second chapter in the geography. If you have any doubt, ask me, and any doubt, please ask me through phone calls or message in the WhatsApp group. And thank you. Have a good day ahead.